So, my friend, I want to ask you, have you been listening to some of my podcasts for a while and identified for yourself all the areas that you feel your business could be better in? Maybe you just are so busy you haven't yet mastered the working as much as you like bit. Or maybe you're just not bringing in the money, like you're struggling with the income, or it's just not enough. Well, it's time for us to have a conversation. In the show notes, there is a link to my evolution call. If you're a dance boss and you are ready to take action, let's have a chat and let's see where I can take you. Welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance. Hello, beautiful people. I hope you are all doing really well, and dance schools and theatre schools are all thriving. I thought today we would talk around the subject of whether to keep your school small and more or less a one-man band in terms of just you in the business, or whether to start scaling and growing and expanding and becoming a much bigger school. And I thought we'd kind of talk about the pros and cons and give you a few tips around this. So this episode is very much for you if you are in a situation where you've been running your school for a while. It could be it's a new school, and it's kind of gone really well and classes got quite big, and now you're thinking, oh, do I just keep it with me or do I expand? Or it could be that you've had your school 30 years and you're thinking about whether or not you now expand. Because I like to talk about this in terms of being a bit like a box. You know, there's you inside a small box and you with your students and your parents. And there's only enough room for you to manage and serve and look after a certain number of students, because there's only so many classes you can have on your timetable in terms of the physical hours that you can teach. And that might be because there's only so many you can get in 6 or 7 days a week teaching X number of hours after school, and every hour is taken. Or it might be that you've made a conscious decision that you only want to run your school on three nights a week, and those 3 days are full. So it's however that looks for you. Is your time now full in your eyes in terms of what you're prepared to do teaching wise? And of course, as we know, it's not just the teaching, it's then the administration, the managing our lovely parents and our students. It's putting on the other additional events that we might do for our school. It's managing our uniform. It's paying the bills, answering the emails, doing our marketing, doing our social media. I don't need to tell you all the hats that you might wear if you run your school by yourself. Like, you are wearing multiple different hats. It's like there's you're the CEO of your business, you're at the top of the boardroom, but you also sit in all the other seats around the table. And when we first start a school, or when a school remains at a certain size, you can do all those things. You can wear all those hats. I'm not saying that you're the most brilliant person at all of those hats, but you're managing it. Now, what starts to happen is, if you do a pretty good job, those roles start to become bigger in themselves. And you find that your time, your energy, your space in your head of managing and sitting in all those seats around your boardroom, wearing all those hats, becomes fuller and fuller and fuller. And eventually you get to the stage where you really don't have time to do any more marketing. You really don't have time to do any more teaching. You really don't have time to be writing newsletters. Like, you're already filling every hour that's available to you. And there's no more of you left. Now, this is when your box is full. This is when you and your current number and your students that are in your box with you, like, we've outgrown this box. And that's where the decisions then become made. Do I keep my school at this size because this is really the maximum that I can manage or that I'm comfortable managing? Or do I need to get a bigger box? And the bigger box may not necessarily look like, I'm not talking in terms of a venue. I'm talking in terms of, I now need somebody to do some of this admin for me because I'm starting to drop the balls. I'm starting to not spend time on my marketing because there isn't time, because I'm too busy sitting in the chair of the customer service seat. I'm not now responding to my emails and getting back to parents and answering them in a way that I'd love to because I'm too busy doing all these teaching hours that I maybe am doing a few too many. I think this is where we say, right, do I need someone to help me with my admin? Do I now invest some of the profit that I'm making in my school into a teacher to teach some of the classes that I currently teach so that I can have time out of the studio and spend more time on the business? Or do I employ a teacher so that I can teach a few less hours to have more time for myself? Because I need the time for me, or you need time for your family or your friends. So that's a decision, quite a crucial decision, I think, that many dance school owners eventually get to. I can no longer do this on my own. And what I would love you to do is to make this decision before, and this is the biggest thing from this podcast, before you feel you really need to. Because I don't want you having to employ a teacher or get some help with the business because you are completely burnt out and you are suffering and you are unhappy and you are miserable and relationships are breaking down because people are angry at you because you're not spending time with them. Like, we don't want to make these decisions when it's already a little bit too late. We want to make these decisions before it becomes uncomfortable, before you are tense and stressed and stretched to the high heavens. I want you to make that confirmed decision at the right time. So you can think to yourself, I'm managing everything fairly well. I'm keeping on top of things. I can do it all myself. But I appreciate that if I got another 20 kids or another 40 kids, or if I started another 3 or 4 classes, I probably then am going to be going into a new area of, now I'm struggling. Now it feels less fun. Now I'm overwhelmed. And what we need to do is hire before we need to. I think I've done a podcast on this exact topic, actually. So if this is of interest, go find the other one as well. But I'm just today talking about in terms of when we've made that decision, if we make that decision, we're doing it for the reason that, okay, I'm not going to bring anyone else into the business. I'm going to stay wearing all the hats. I'm going to sit around the boardroom table by myself. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what my school earns me. I'm okay with how the school runs. I'm happy for it to be this, what I've created, for the rest of its eternity. If that doesn't sit well for you because you think, actually, you know, I'm not earning as much as I need to be earning. I'm not surviving on my income, or the school just doesn't yet have the full timetable that I have a vision for, or, you know, I can see there's so much more I could do. Then that's when we make that decision to get the bigger box, to start hiring. So I thought I would just share with you guys today the planners that I have produced for dance school owners, because these are flying out of Amazon like hotcakes. And if you don't have yours yet, then all you have to do is pop to Amazon and type into the search Deborah Laws, and all 3 books will come up. So the ultimate dance business planner I designed for you so that you had a little bit of a Deborah on your desktop. The planners are full of business training, tips, motivational quotes, things to do at the start of the month, things to do at the end of the month, ways in which you can plan out your marketing and your retention, and they are selling all over the world. So go to Amazon, grab your #1 best-selling Ultimate Dance Business Planner and enjoy mapping out the growth for your studio. And the business needs to be in a position where it can afford for you to take some of the profit out of the business to put into investing in people, starting to grow your team, whether that's teachers, whether it's accountants, whether it's cleaners, whether it's people to help with your marketing, whether it's administrators, like whatever that looks like. Now, if your school currently earns you £1,000 a month and you desperately need every penny of that because you have to pay your rent and that's all got to go on there, then obviously there isn't any money to pay for someone else. But if your school, and I'm just plucking random figures here, earns you £1,500 a month and all you need is £1,000 to live on, then that's where you might go, right, I'm going to invest that other £500 back into the business. I'm going to invest it into people so that I can now start to take my school to a new level. I'm going to scale my timetable because I now have an additional teacher, or I'm going to spend more time on my marketing to fill my classes and I'm going to pay someone to do that. And the thing is, your business has huge potential. There's so much more money you could earn from your school if every one of your classes was full, or if you're already full, if you had more full classes on the timetable. There's more profit to be made. But it's a definite decision that you have to make. If you make the right decisions and you get a great teacher or a great administrator or someone that's great at marketing, the whole idea of investing in people is that they then help to generate way more income than the cost of having that person. So say you are going to spend £500 on a teacher, but she's now going to earn you another £1,000 because she's able to do things in the business that earn you money. And the idea is you kind of go, okay, I spent £500, I invested in a teacher, but I'm getting £1,000 in return. So therefore, we're now £500 better off. And that's how you just continue to grow and scale. What we don't want to do is spend £500 on somebody that then doesn't give us a return. There's no financial return for us. They're not earning us additional money as a result of employing them. Or worst case scenario, even covering the cost of having that person, because then that's coming out of your £1,000, that's coming out of your wage. I hope this is making sense. I hope you're following along. So do we or don't we? That's kind of the decision you have to come to. Now, it's interesting because I have full respect for anyone that says, I just want to do it myself. I don't want to manage people. I don't want to grow big. I'm happy with what the school is at the moment. It's earning me good money, or it's earning me money I'm happy with. Perfect. If that's your choice and you're content, no need to change or do anything about that. But if somewhere niggling, bubbling away under the surface in your subconscious, you're thinking, actually, Deborah, I do need to earn more money. I do need to grow my school. I'm just scared because I'm worried about what if a teacher comes in and then leaves and steals all my students? Or what if she comes in and she's not as good as me and I have people leave because they don't like the teacher? Or what if I invest in someone to help with my admin and they don't do it as well as me and the standard of my work starts to go down? or they write the wrong thing in an email, or they respond incorrectly. Like sometimes the decision that we're making in terms of do we go big or do we stay small is actually a reflection that's just coming from our own fears. It's coming from a place of, I feel safe where I am right now, and therefore I'm just going to stay where I am and I'm very happy. The question I would get you to ask yourself, and this is just a very honest question that you have to be honest with yourself over your answer, is, but is that the right decision, or is it a decision I'm making through fear? Fear of the what ifs, fear of the what if that doesn't work out, the what if I start to lose control. These are all, this is an area that is an interesting one, because I had a lovely dance boss that I started working with 5 years ago. And the first thing she said to me was, I loved your seminar. I learned a lot. I understand everything you're saying, but actually it's not really for me. I don't want to get any bigger. I don't want to grow. We've got about 70 or 80 students, and that's enough for me. I want my school to stay personal. We've got a lovely family. Everybody feels like they know me. I know everyone. I know every child's name. I teach every child. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want what you're offering, Deborah, which is how to grow and scale your business. It's like, that's fine. That's wonderful. Well, let me maybe see if I can just help you and a little bit more money with what you've currently got. Let's see if I can help you with some of your systems, help you with the managing this small business, and see where we go from there. And that lovely person is still with me 5 years later, and they have a much, much bigger school and a much, much bigger team and much better systems. And they've stepped right back to the extent that they're now putting things in place to be able to step almost entirely out of the dance school. What we discovered quite early on was it wasn't that she didn't want to grow. It's that she was telling herself she didn't want to grow because she was fearful of how to do that and whether it would go wrong, all the what ifs. And so, of course, with some guidance and some coaching and some mentoring from myself, we worked on all those fears, all those things on an individual basis. And slowly over a period of time, her mindset completely changed and altered. And now is a real go-getting, ambitious mindset that has no boundaries and no limits. Like now when she's looking at going and scaling to the next level, it's like, great, that's what I want. That's what I'm wanting to do. Prepared to put the hard work in. Now just teach me what I need to do to get to the next level. So asking yourself those questions is kind of the first point, having that very honest conversation with yourself. Is it that I really don't want to get any bigger? I really want to only share my skill set and what I have to offer the world with a small group of people? Or is it a fear of the unknown of what happens if we get any bigger? And that bit, my friends, is just about having the right people, the right mentor, the right guidance to help you in order to do that. And I understand that sometimes that is scary in itself, but that is possibly the next step of where you might need to go. So I hope this has been a little bit insightful for you. If you are a one-man band wearing all the hats, your school can only grow as fast as you. You know, if you are at the limits of how far you can go because you don't know how to delegate your admin tasks, you don't know how to onboard and bring in and mentor a beautiful teacher, you don't have those skill sets, you therefore then don't currently have potentially the ability to go to the next level. You need to learn how to do that so that your school can then go with you. And if your school has been stuck or stagnant for some time, and you do know that you'd love it to grow, but you just don't know how to do that successfully, then hey, come find me. Come, let's chat. Let's talk about how we can do that. Let's talk about how I can help you, just like I did with this other dance boss. If you already have a school that has got a bigger box, you've grown a team, you've got some people that help you, it's definitely not just you anymore, but maybe you are also feeling that you are in the same position that I was talking about at the beginning. You're working all the hours, you don't seem to be earning enough money, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed. Yes, you've got all this help, but you still feel like you felt when it was just you. It's quite possible that's what happens is you've moved into a bigger box, but now that box is full too. There's no more room for you in the business. You are overstretched, overstressed, and it's time for your third box or your fourth box or your 10th box, but you need a bigger box. You know, I have a famous saying that I say a lot: another level, another devil. It doesn't matter whether you've got 50 kids or 500 kids. When you look at going to another level, you're scaling again. You need more team. You need more students. You need a bigger venue. You're going to need to learn new things. It's a whole different business managing 500 students and a team of 18 than it is just managing one teacher and yourself. So it's always a journey. It's always a journey of learning. I've grown my knowledge to this level, and I can get my school, my business to this level, but now I need to go to a new level. I now need to grow again. And I'm talking growing in terms of your knowledge and your mindset. It doesn't stop, really. We continue to always learn. And I think you know that, right? You appreciate that because actually, you know, just as a teacher, looking at your teaching skills, you know you don't know it all as a teacher. You know you're humble enough to know that there's always new things you can learn to improve your teaching. It's no different running a business. So reach out to me. Come find me on Facebook or Instagram. Send me a little DM, or you can email me, Deborah@dancebusinesslab.com. And if you'd just love to have a little chat as to what that looks like, having some help, having some guidance, helping you learn so that you can take your school with you to that next level, let's get you a bigger box. Send me a message and we'll chat really soon. I hope this has been insightful for you today. Take care, everyone. So I wanted to tell you that this episode is kindly sponsored by Sally at Dance Studio Marketing, who is your go-to solution for growing your dance school through the power of social media. So if you're feeling overwhelmed at trying to attract new students, at Dance Studio Marketing, Sally helps dance studio owners just like you to leverage the power of social media and paid ads to bring in a steady stream of students, which of course helps you to achieve more balance in your life. So if you're ready to grow with less stress, visit sallyprendergast.com, or you can connect with Sally at Dance Studio Marketing on your favorite social media platform today. My clients are getting fabulous results using Sally. So let's get those ads going and let's get your school growing.